Welcome to the Rainbow Remix Best of Series 2022.
I don't know, like, she's out there. You're the Florida version of Sex and the City, JB.
That's when I was smoking my cigars.
Don't be an asshole today.
First in the mix is actress, comedian, and author Fiona Goodwin.
Me too. I was just saying to Denise, I'm so sorry about last time, and thank you for having me back.
Oh, we are so happy that you're here. I've been watching your YouTubes, and you are hysterical. Really, really enjoying your comedy and your talent.
Thank you. That's very kind.
She's in Santa Monica, so
wow,
she likes to beat us both on weather. She gets to rub elbows with Jenny McNulty and Suzanne and Dana and all those people that we've all the funny ladies,
all the West
of LA.
Coast girls.
Yeah. Fabulous. Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's great. And they're all doing really, really good. I want to say, like, I see I haven't really done much on Facebook lately because I kind of feel like it's going towards the older folks, so
right. It's almost becoming like MySpace, right? I find myself not looking at it really hardly ever.
Yeah, that's why it works for me, because I'm that old, my people are old. They're old, I mean, obviously I'm sure that I attract the 20-year-olds. Yeah.
So I don't know if you were dumped or got dumped, but you got out
no,
of the
I
UK.
escaped. There was no dumping, literally an escape. It was
excellent.
Just like,
back to bag, took off in the middle of the night.
That kind of thing. Yeah, that kind of thing. I needed to. It was a long relationship, and I needed to get out of the environment. So I mean, my career started really when I was as a missionary. When I was younger. I mean, I used to preach the gospel with a little twist.
Wow, that's interesting. Is that
a little?
Is that twist?
True? Yeah, no. I was a missionary for a while, and I got caught up in, because I was so desperately trying to escape being a lesbian. I thought if I could devote myself to the church, and I trained as a nun when I was younger, and there I thought, I mean, and obviously a convent isn't the best place to go if you're trying to escape your sexuality, as a woman.
No, really.
But, so that was, I think I was always trying to perform, and even when I was a missionary, I was performing in a Christian performing arts group. And we traveled around Canada, America, Honduras. I auditioned and got the part of Satan, and traveled around being Satan. And I went there because they said that they could cure me of being gay. And en route, as we traveled around the rainforests of Choloma and Tegucigalpa and all these cities, I fell in love with the girl who's playing the part of the Virgin Mary.
So that did not work out the way they had planned.
The whole thing backfired dreadfully.
Satan and the Virgin Mary.
That's quite a plot twist right there.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. This is a routine in itself.
Yeah. No, well, that's really, my show is very much about this story. So anyway, I did it in the end. I did end up in America because I'd done a course there, and they seemed to be fine about people being gay.
Yeah.
There didn't seem to be any. Nobody was upset about it. So, and that's really when I started to come out properly. And I started doing stand-up comedy, and I was doing the Comedy Store, and things really started to open up. Then I fell in love. Everything went backwards.
Just steps forward, 3 steps.
Yeah. Nothing like that to set you backtracked, right?
I know, right? And my girlfriend had a baby. That was tricky. Not mine.
Okay.
That is tricky.
Yeah, it was tricky. So anyway, so then I started getting more serious about it, and you were asking me, Denise, about how I landed with A Very British Lesbian. I was doing a show called A Very British Exorcism.
Oh.
That was the first show, and that was because the church did try to exorcise me, you know, when I was young.
Wow.
Yeah. So
What church was that?
it was a happy clappy charismatic house fellowship.
Wow.
Yeah. So the demons, obviously, that's why it was a little bit ironic that I ended up with the role of Satan when I was touring Honduras.
But mind
yeah.
blow kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It took me a while to get the whole idea of the devil out of my mind, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is quite a twist.
I think I just got to say that's a mind fuck. That's a mind fuck.
Yeah, I was trying to find a nicer way to say that.
There's no word that better encapsulates that.
Yeah.
I think though that you see, you know, the older you are, the more crazy the stories get, because, you know, things have got a little bit easier. So
the further away from it that you get, like the more you go, oh my God. But when you're right in it, like that's a KitchenAid mixer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of you know, of things that you well, you know, for me, like that I've heard of.
Right.
You know, but I didn't realize on any level that it was going on, you know, present day. But you know, wow.
Yeah, I mean, the worst thing is when you've had the exorcism, you're always, I was always terribly hopeful that it was going to rid me of my love of whoever it was at the time.
Right.
And it didn't. So then you become a hopeless case, and then you think, well, I don't know, if I'm never going to be cured, I'm never going to be accepted. And so that's where people get very hopeless.
Yeah. It's amazing that in something so dark that you could find, you know, the comedy as you know, move away from it. You can find the comedy and the irony. Like you said, a lot of British humor comes from irony, you know, sarcasm. Yeah. Top of the list, but irony is like right under there. So
well, it's definitely comedy plus time. I mean, tragedy, sorry, plus time, you know.
Right. Yeah. That's just, it's really nuts. It must have been like, explain the culture shock, you know, like stepping into LA where people are so open about everything, their feelings, their expression, how they dress, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah. Can I do that after I found my charger?
Yes.
You chat amongst yourselves. I'm so sorry.
Yes, we will. Back. Jay, what are you drinking?
I am drinking Mount Gay rum and Coke. Okay.
Oh, you did. I did a Shanky's Whip Irish whiskey and Coke. So obviously light on the Coke.
Yeah, we match almost. And I have my Jack Daniel's hat on.
Nice. I have the On the Rocks glass, but you can barely see it.
We blend today. I thought I was having a haircut this afternoon, so I didn't put any hair product. I was
having a haircut this afternoon. The woman never called me back. I'm gonna come to Florida on Monday, like Monica in Friends, when she had the frizz. So I just want to prepare you that when I see you, my hair is going to be triple in size. Okay,
I will be prepared.
Back. Thank you. I'm so sorry about that. I'm a professional. What can I say?
we value professionalism like this much. If that.
We embrace the by the seat of your pants professionalism.
Well, that's all that's going on here, really.
That's our motto. By the seat of your pants, everything. Yeah. Exactly.
So the culture shock when I got here, it was massive, because I was noticing that people were in relationships with same-sex relationships, and nobody seemed to be that bothered by it. And
and so open, you know, like none of this, you know.
You feel a little bit silly because you think, I've spent 45 years undercover,
right?
And these people are listening to me. I mean, I was doing a master's in spiritual psychology, for 2 years. I was commuting to LA, and I would go there each month, and they would be all just, you know, talking. They would be listening to my stories, just thinking, and you could see that how baffled they were by my experience. You know, they
Yeah.
Were you in the church all that time?
No, I left the church
45?
probably about when I was about 33. I joined the church when I was 15.
Oh, wow, that was a long time
Yeah, you
To
hung
be
in
in
there. You hung in
that
there.
mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, and I missed out a lot on just popular culture, because I was I had to read the Bible a lot, and it wasn't time to. And it was just a bit like a cult, really. You know, I didn't. People, even now, people talk to me about pop groups, and sometimes, and I don't know who they are, because I could tell you about 1 Corinthians 13, but I couldn't tell you, you know.
It seems so in line with like Scientology,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's like, there you are in the epicenter, you know, of that, of
Mhm.
the Scientology. So, wow,
know,
it's
right?
just, it's so layered. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
Yeah.
So
I had a funny experience, which probably is completely irrelevant to this, but I had a friend's grandma staying with me in LA one time, and she had a schizophrenic breakdown, and she begged me one night to take her down to the Scientology Center in Hollywood.
Mhm.
And we had a baby at the time, and so I just wanted to get her out the house. So at 3 a.m, I put her in my car, and we drive in our 90s down to the Scientology Center, right? The celebrity
the big
Scientology
one,
Center.
yeah.
And we get out of our cars in our 90s, in our nightwear, and she's got, you know, curlers in her hair, and she's got sort of a full length. She was Australian. She had well, that's really relevant, but she was wearing a full length nightie with frills and everything, and she was wandering around the Scientology Center. She couldn't get in, obviously.
Yeah.
But you know, and she didn't like Scientology, and she was like swearing at the building. You know, I won't say what she was saying, but the security guards came and got us pretty quickly.
I would think so. Wow.
That's a blazing ad for Scientology right there. Yeah. Wow.
No, they were on it. Yeah.
Oh my God. That's just
Yeah.
So when did you start to do the comedy? Like, when did you come out of that? Like, I really admire the fact that you started later than most people do in the industry.
Yeah.
And you have had success and have a fan base within your demographic. But I just think that's amazing when women can do that, because that's a lot to overcome in such a youth-driven industry.
Thank you. I think I was saying to Denise that earlier that I was when I came out, like when I moved over here, when I came out, then it was as if, because I had to mute myself so much in every aspect, because obviously when you are pretending to be something you're not. I mean, I was, you know, pretending to be straight till I was about 25.
right.
And so you're constantly lying. You don't know how much you're lying, but you are lying all the time. So when I came out and I was in this environment where people were telling the truth and being honest about themselves, and suddenly all that went, that's when I realized that I had this other thing that I needed to come out, that needed to come out. I needed to come out as a performer. So the two things were like simultaneous, because yeah, it was just extraordinary. So I remember being on this course, and I remember sort of at the end of the first year standing up and saying, I know what I want to do. I want to live in LA. I want to live on a boat in the marina, and I want to do stand-up comedy. And by the way, I'm gay. You know? So the whole thing, it was just like the whole thing just exploded all at once.
And I think, you know, when you think about, like you said, the length of time pretending to be something you're not, and then all of the sudden, all of that goes away, and you realize, you know, doesn't it feel like almost overwhelming?
It is overwhelming, and you suddenly feel that you've got to absolutely make the most of every minute, because you spent all of this time
right,
just like, I don't know, not dead exactly, but just lying and not being truly yourself. So suddenly so that's how I went from being completely closeted to being suddenly I'm on stage saying I'm a very British lesbian, because I thought I cannot pretend anymore. I have to be of service. I mean, that sounds very, I mean, I was a nun, so forgive me for that. But I have to make up for lost time.
Yeah.
And there must be other people like me. And there are, like, you know, about the show I do on Facebook, the two days a week, I do my Corona Live poetry show. Do you know about that?
I don't.
Okay, so 2 days, when Corona started, I think within a few days, I went on to Facebook. I did my first Facebook Live. And I was just, you know, in some kind of like shoddy, you know, wife beater. You're not allowed to call that a wife beater, are you? People, I get complaints when I call it.
I told you, you know, this much professionalism. And this much PC.
Anyway.
I was going to say, no political correctness. Worry about.
Well, just to explain, here a wife beater is a kind of t-shirt. I won't use that word, and I apologize deeply. Anyway, so I came on and I did 5 minutes and I just chatted away. And I just thought, if we're going to be locked up, I have to do something. I've got to get out of myself somehow, and I've got to start maybe giving something, because I can't, I'm not doing shows, I'm not doing anything. So that developed into, I did it every day for a month. And now I do it on a Monday and Fridays at 1 o'clock California time. And it's now developed into what's called Corona Live Poetry, Left Coast Lesbian Lunch Crying in Bed with Fiona.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. But you know, I think you got to live every moment as your authentic self now, because you can. And that. So just because of lockdown and this virus, I mean, you still need an outlet, you know. So that's brilliant. Like we were saying, like Facebook's pretty much the place to do it for, you know, to hit your audience.
Yeah,
you know?
certainly for my age group. And of course, then I discovered all sorts of women just like me who'd had the same experience as me, living secret lives and so on. And so it's quite a lovely community that's developed, you know. And when I did my show in Santa Monica just a few months ago, or just before Christmas, and people flew in from Massachusetts, from Waco, Texas, from.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Amazing.
That's
and people have made friends. It's been wonderful.
Yeah, that's, you know, that's nice. The community, the feel of the community. The fans build their own community, don't they?
Yeah. Exactly.
I find that your story is so inspiring, because you know, a lot of women in particular think when you get past 30, even in this business, you know, what's the point? Like, I'm a musician, and I started late in life to be playing music professionally. I started at 32.
Wow.
I wasn't in the college band or the high school band. I was an accountant. And I started, and at 32, I started, you know, I'm like, I'm not happy doing this. And I, you know, I started playing music and putting a band together. But I love that you kind of made your vision board of wanting to live in LA and live in a marina. And so you got to do all those things, right?
Yeah.
You live in LA and marina.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm like so inspired by this today.
Thank you.
I love that you did that. And I mean, I'm sure you must have had, like, the road wasn't easy, right? Like, financially in this business, it's very hard to do what you love and support yourself with that. So,
well, I've now developed, since in the last few years, I've now developed, because I'm also a psychotherapist. So I have a practice, not a full practice, because I can't, because of my other work. But that's what helps me when, especially since Corona, it's like been amazingly helpful.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's mental health is like frazzled.
Yeah.
You know, it just, again, not knowing when you're going to be able to get out, when you're going to be able to see people. Are you going to want to? I mean, I'm like, I tell everybody, I'm still so people phobic. I am vax to max, you know, and I'm like still so people phobic, you know. Even when my parents were here, I felt really bad because they, you know, there was all the testing, and just for them to fly, you know, test before you leave, test on day 2. And so they did everything right, but they never got their test results back. So I didn't want to let them leave and go spreading germs if I didn't know, if they had it or not.
Mm.
So, the first half of their trip was literally spent in my tiny house. And, it was just, it was frazzling. And then when we finally did go out, I took them to a big garden center in Esher.
Mhm.
And I was the one that was having the problem. Like everybody was in masks. Everybody was very, good as far as that. But, just having, people walking by you and cutting in front of you. And I was just like, I just haven't been that exposed, before. And it just got me so jittery. I feel so bad for the person who has to sit next to me on the plane Monday. I really, really do. I'm just going to be like a blubbering mess the whole time.
Planes are the safest place to be, really,
That's
because
what I keep hearing. So I'm like,
yeah.
I just,
Put that in your filing cabinet, your mental filing cabinet.
Yeah.
Safest place to be. Safest place to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, it's the airports too. Like, so you just.
So are you still with the woman that you were with when you came to the States? The
my
woman
goodness,
that had the baby?
There's been some recycling since then.
Oh.
Upcycling?
always.
Okay, that's a plus.
The thing about when you live in California, there's so much emphasis on evolution and consciousness, and they do go a little bit nutty, sometimes, but what I really appreciate is the attitude of everything is for our learning, everything, every relationship, every situation, is about, is a message for us to take on board and for us to evolve and move forward. And if we evolve, we inevitably get into relationships with people who are drawn to us because they have a similar vibe,
Right. That's true.
That's true. That's true.
A lot of crazy old ladies.
Who would have thought? I thought they kicked you out after 50.
Out of LA?
Or if you start tipping the scales like 165, 170, you're out.
No, well,
Yes,
I do
it
sometimes.
looks like that.
Yeah, I walk the streets of LA and I think, where are they? Where are the old people? I remember I'm one of them, but I'm not quite, you just don't, I don't know where they go, but they go somewhere.
I'm gonna say like Santa Barbara, Montecito.
Well,
yeah.
They're millionaires, they're millionaires.
Yeah. It's just, I just can't even imagine. Like I get culture shock. Like I totally get it, especially leaving South Florida and coming here, so I understand it, but not on the scale like it had to have been for you, like I just can't even fathom it. Do you miss being here? Do you wonder like what it would have been like if
I stayed?
Yeah.
If I'd stayed, I would never have got into stand-up comedy.
Really?
Yeah,
it does seem difficult here. It does. Seems like there's only two routes, like Hammersmith Apollo and a television show, a panel show.
Right. Yeah.
It doesn't seem like there's a lot of avenues to be able to.
Well, it's just the attitude. I mean, the attitude here is can do.
Mm-hmm.
And there is some insanity with that. I mean, people start doing things they really shouldn't be doing because of that. Because they can.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it seems a little oppressed here.
I mean, and JD, you were saying about me coming over and how brave it was. I didn't have to be as brave because, for example, when I had said, announced to people, I'm going to live on a boat in the marina and I'm going to do stand-up comedy, I think within a few weeks I had a phone call from someone saying, my friend needs someone to cat sit on his boat in the marina.
Wow.
That's
you
the sort of
manifested that.
Yeah. I was just going to use that word and I was like, that's so LA, and there you said it. Okay.
And that's just, it just feels like normal, here now. I mean, we're living here. That's kind of, I love the motto to expect the unexpected. And I have very much got that attitude now. And it's exciting being here because because there is that level of awareness, not amongst everywhere, obviously, but there is a level of awareness about how the universe works, you know?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's true.
So,
That part I get. Like
yeah. So when I got that, when I got that call from this person saying, you know, would you like this? I said, of course. I resigned from my job immediately and off I went. To be fair, I'd already resigned from my job. And the other, as soon as I had announced that, I knew I had to resign from my job to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I love is and I don't know, can't remember who said it, but at the moment of commitment, the universe responds. And I have so many examples of how I made a step in some crazy direction and the universe met me on the way, you know. But you have that moment where you just literally, it's like you jump off the cliff, you know.
Yeah.
That was so brave of you. That was quite a leap
sink or
to
swim
do
kind of thing.
that. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't because I can't tell you, in this environment here, it's more part of the vernacular. It's as if, you know, yes, of course you make a brave step and the universe is going to meet you. It's just like, it's a whole different
they
way.
don't really know any other way. I mean, everybody that's out there is there taking risks, you know, like,
Mhm.
you know, when Donna, when my my friend and I went, I have a cousin that's been out there for like 30 years now. But when my friend and I went out there, we were staying at the Standard on Sunset Strip. And every morning, you know, we would sit by the pool and have breakfast or whatever. And my friend would be like, you know, half the people here, they're not even staying here. They're just here to be seen. And I'm like, really? How do you know? She was like, I see them. They come, you know, their newspaper and this is where they're. And I was like, huh, that's interesting. And then we realized in 4 days, every person that we met or talked to was in the business. Like there was nobody that said, I work at a bank or I work at the library or I'm an accountant or, you know, no, everybody there was, you know, in the business in some way, shape or form. They're a writer, they're a performer, and you know, it is the place to be, you know, that's what you want, you know, your opportunities, you know, are there. I mean, it does take like maybe a little bit of luck, perhaps a little nepotism, who knows, but you know, your chances are so much better, you know, in that environment where everybody's kind of thinking the same way and in the same way.
I remember being in a Starbucks line sort of when I was first there and hearing somebody in front of me saying, you know, I think we could probably make, you know, it would probably take 5 million, you know, we've got 5 million for the movie, you know, we can get another investor and get another 5 million. And I'm hearing these numbers, you know, 5 million.
Scraping together Starbucks.
And I'd been a high school teacher for many years after the nun thing, and then before coming in. So I mean, you know, we were always worried about whether we could get pens, you know.
Right. And
they're talking about 5 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a different way of life. It's a different way of life.
It's really like go big or go home there, I guess.
It really
you know,
is.
like
A lot of people go home. I think my immigration lawyer said to me once, she gave me some sort of figure, something like 3,000 a week in California. 3,000 people a week leave California.
Wow.
But
well, it's like that in Nashville. It's like that in Nashville. Everyone's in the music business, no matter who you talk to. And it doesn't matter what they're doing at the moment. The bartenders, the bellmen, all those people, the waiters, they're always in the business because they want to be there to be heard. So I get that.
Yeah. I remember having lunch once with a friend who was a casting director, and it wasn't even in the center of LA. It was kind of a little bit on the outside, and we were sat there and just having dinner, and the woman said to the waitress, "You are an actress, right?" And the woman said, "Yeah." The girl said, she was in her 20s. She said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, can I give you my card? I love your look. I love your look."
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, there and then it's just like these girls going, "Oh my god, oh my god."
Day made, day made. Wow, it is. It's crazy. It's a whole different world, like I couldn't, in the 4 days that I was there, honestly, on the plane on the way back, I was just like, I couldn't wait to get home because I was so out of my comfort zone. The size of me, my personality, having dark hair, nothing worked, nothing worked
That's how I
on
felt
any
in
level.
Nashville.
Yeah.
I was so fish out of water. I was like, I was so uncomfortable. But it's where you go, when you have that kind of that drive, like I would love writing, books and stuff. That I could do that right here. I could be chubby, I can have dark hair, I don't have to leave the house. So I'm in the good nurturing environment for this, but yeah, when you have an idea and and you're in a place that everybody is so similar, especially like I said with that group of comedians, women, that they're smart, they're they're business savvy, they're fantastic, like that's definitely the place to be. You want to be someplace where you can soak it in, soak that in.
Yeah.
One of the things that keeps me going is having a sense of, because I came out so late, because I have so much empathy for lesbians who struggled the way that I did.
Yeah.
I think when you keep a sense of your own, like what is my mission, and how can I be of service? And rather that helps me better than how do I get to the top, or how do I,
That's a good point.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
How do I make people laugh?
Yeah.
Like that brings out something in people, like
because I can't compare myself with there's some I've come across huge comedians here, and I can't compare myself with them. I can't wish for their, well, I can wish for their status, but if you do that too much, it will sink you.
Yeah, I totally understand that, because what you're saying about being in LA is like, when I keep saying Nashville, but I felt you get there and you feel this energy of the music and the city and everyone being part of it. But then there's this overwhelming feeling of, what am I doing here? There's so many people trying for the same brass ring. And, there's the best of the people, the guy that's the bellman might be an amazing singer, an amazing guitar player and songwriter or whatever. So you could let it sink you. You're right. If you don't keep your eye on your own prize, because you could easily get overwhelmed. And in my case, intimidated. I felt intimidated a lot of the times when, like, I don't belong here. Like, why am I on this roster? Why am I playing on this stage? But you kind of have to push through it and find your own reason.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what keeps you going, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it really does. And because I'm very lucky, because I have two things going on. One is the performing, and the other is doing the poetry live show twice a week, which I don't charge for. And it's created a great community. And out of that, some workshops, and I've been able to work in my psychotherapy role. I've been able to work with lesbians, or not really work with them, but just create a bit of a community, workshop community.
It's like it all came together again.
Yeah, amazing.
Amazing. That's so great.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your Facebook, is it under, what is your Facebook under?
It's called the show is on A Very British Lesbian, or Fiona Goodwin. But if you go to my website, which is fionagoodwin.com, all the details for everything are on that.
That's fantastic. So they can get to those things and know where you're going to be. Where are you performing in March? You said you have a show coming up in March.
Yes, it's at the Marilyn Monroe Theatre in Hollywood.
Excellent.
It's part of a guy called Eddie Alfano. He was on Shameless and all sorts of great TV shows. He runs this thing. He'll be performing as well. And there's a run of a roster of people performing.
Oh, cool. Great. So there's a lot of ways we can see you live. We can see you on Facebook. We can go to your website. We can see you do the poetry thing. This is really.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere.
Or you can read the book. Do you know about the book?
I don't know about the book.
Right. Here's the book. Hold on one second.
What?
There you go. There's the book. A Very British Lesbian.
Oh, perfect.
Get
There you
me a
go.
copy of that.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
I would
That's
imagine on
on
the website we can, or you can.
Yeah,
order
you can
from
find
there.
that. It's on Amazon and Kindle and stuff.
Oh, Fiona, thank you so much
Oh, you're so
for making
welcome.
this happen. Your story is just absolutely incredible. And your
Oh,
comedy
to
is fresh. It's fantastic.
thank you.
I
Thank
have
you.
to say you were well worth waiting for.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
Back.
you're so sweet. I'd
Definitely.
love to come back. You guys are just delightful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening there for you, middle of the day. Have a great evening. Off to bed. Jay, have a good dinner.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's
And
great.
good
We
luck
will
to you.
definitely have you back.
Thank you. Good luck, Denise, with the weather in England.
Thank you. I'm going to Florida for a month, baby. I'm so
Yeah.
All right, ladies, have a fantastic evening. Take care.
Thank you. Love you
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Next in the mix is Shaz Riley, founder of the Butch Clothing Company.
JD, that's Shaz. That's Shaz
Hey, nice
from the
to meet
Butch
you.
Clothing Company.
Yes, how are you?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. Really good. Well, it's very hot over here. It's Florida heat at the moment. So
It
yeah.
is. It
Here.
is. And you know, I got to tell you, I have people that come up to me when I whine and complain and whinge about the heat. And it's ridiculous. I can't believe it. It's so hot. I'm going to die. And they go, aren't you from Florida?
I know, right?
And I go, yeah, but they have air conditioning. Like even the outdoor cafes have misters and fans. So
I know.
That's exactly
We've just come
right.
back from Florida, but I actually lived in Florida for a year in mid 2000 to mid 2001. I lived in Orlando, and
so
you know, I always say, oh, it's Florida heat, it's Florida heat, you know,
Florida heat.
Yeah.
or more importantly, it's not Florida heat, you know. It's like, but
Yeah,
now it
this
is.
So I just want to, first of all, thank you. I know this is late and I know that it's hot and you're all dressed up and that's so nice of you.
I was very excited to meet you and hear about, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
And hear about
I mean,
what you do.
Look
Thank
at,
you. Yeah, nice to meet you both as well. Really, really cool to meet you.
it's-
Thank you for
it's-
inviting me to do this.
I saw the tweet and I saw that you were launching in the US. So it's the Butch Clothing Company. Like, and I was just going over this with Shaz early. I'm pretty sure that I met Shaz in 2012 at the Connaught Hotel at an LGBT fair or something. And I remember the name Butch Clothing. So when I saw the tweet about it, because that was a retweet from someone, you know, saying congratulations that you're going to be launching in the US. And I'm like, I know that name. And I was racking my brain and that's it. I think that was it. And I thought, wow, that was like 2012. You're plugging along. It's 10 years later. How did you decide that, first of all, I do. That was a cat. Okay. How did you keep the company going for 10 years and now decide to launch in the US?
Yeah, no, that's a bit of a fallacy actually, that we're only just launching now. We've been in the States and in Canada and globally since 2010, because I came up with the idea of Skype consultations way back when, because I was getting so many. There was a big launch when we launched in the UK. The Guardian did a big feature on us. Diva magazine did a big feature on us, as did Curve. The editor Maren Johns put that together put that together for me in the States, so that was great. Because of that I was getting so much interest, that there were so many US and Canadian, Australian clients that wanted to work with us, that I had to very quickly come up with a concept of these Skype consultations. Basically what's happened is Maren now runs Queer 40, and said, Shaz, let's do a piece and let's tell them you're still out there. Let's tell them that, you know, that it's available. So that's basically what that Queer 40 piece is.
Okay,
It's
that's
kind of just
awesome, though.
reminding people that we're still here, because the pandemic's hit us very hard. Very hard, you know, and people
no one needed to be, you know,
no one needed to be dressed up. No weddings
canceled.
happened.
Yes.
Yeah, people are going much more casual into work now. And it's with all the inflation and, you know, the cost of living rises, people don't have the money for luxuries, and the Butch Clothing Company make high-end bespoke suits. I never wanted to sell cheap suits. It was always about making a quality product, because I wanted it to be that as women, we got the same opportunities as men got when they could go somewhere like to Savile Row tailors and to buy, you know, expensive, nice quality suits that weren't going to fall apart in 5 years.
Right.
You know, I wanted to create something, and I've always realized that it's not for everyone's pocket. I do realize that there are, you know, there's a large proportion of people that can't afford what we do. And you know, I've been criticized for that. But you know, you don't criticize Mercedes for making high-end cars when Ford make cars that are much more affordable. So why would you criticize a bespoke tailors for doing the same? And I use the finest Yorkshire mills in the UK to create our suits from the most perfect fabrics. And they'll last for years and years and years. And, you know, I would expect them to live as long as the person that buys them. I mean, I'm that confident with what we do. And I mean, we're 2009, it's 2022 now. You know, I'm still wearing the suits that were made back then, and I know a heck of a lot of my clients are. So it's kind of like, you know, the proof is in the pudding. But yes, it's an interesting it was an interesting concept right from the start. You asked me about the name of the company and how that's been perceived and received. It's an interest that's interesting in itself, in the fact that I did not know what to call the company when I started it. I was working, I started work at 17 in the West End theatres. I was very fortunate to be working with people like Danny Boyle and Gary Oldman, all those kind of people. I had a fantastic career for 15 years in West End theatres, and then went into very high-end live events, was one of the senior project managers just before the Millennium Dome opened, when they needed people to come in and sort out the finishing off of all the zones in the dome. And I worked in very high-end events with celebrities, pharmaceutical companies, banking companies, and I got to sort of travel the world. And by the time I then met my wife in 2008, and then by 2009, I kind of said enough traveling, enough live events, and I'm exhausted. I was in my early 40s, 43, I think, at the time, and I look so much younger than I actually am. Yeah, really. That's what I tell people. No, and I just said I want to do something different, and Sue was like, "What are you going to do?" And I said, I don't know. And she said, "Well, you've been moaning about having to wear men's suits and how badly they fit you and how you hate it. Why don't you think about something along those lines?" So basically, the company was born out of my own need to have suits that fitted me properly and to feel as good as I knew that my male colleagues did in theirs.
Right.
I wanted to look as good as they did in their suits, but I wanted something that was going to fit my form. So I wanted a masculine style suit as opposed to a male suit or a man suit.
I love so much about everything about your story. I'm sorry, continue. I love the fact that you're unapologetic about your suits being more expensive because they're better quality, because I always believe you get what you pay for in life in general. And I love that you reinvented and you started something new and a whole different type of career, and you're an entrepreneur for something that you had a need for. Like, everything about your story is so inspiring.
And thank you so much.
It really is
hearing this.
You know, my wife got asked to be a best man at a wedding. And, right. And
done it myself.
And she was really flustered about what to wear, like she didn't just want to wear her own trousers that fit really well with a nice shirt and a blazer. Like, she wanted it to be smart, and she wanted the vest underneath. And it wasn't that it was an upscale wedding, because it was just in Farnham, but it was at a beautiful cottage, and it was an amazing ceremony and everything. And she ended up having to do the Savile Row thing, to get the suit made and didn't, like, again, because we weren't really thinking, on the lines of like of a Butch Clothing Company, but that was a need like that right there, and we should have, now looking back. But the thing is that there are occasions and events and things that you do want to look your best, like I can't think of one right now because I haven't done shit in the last
I
4 years.
think there's lots of things in life that need smart clothing. I think I would like everybody to realize that one bespoke 3-piece can carry you through life and make you feel amazing, because you only, we as gay women, we often don't feel confident in our clothing. We often have to go into the men's department. We're often treated badly.
Never fits right.
It never fits right. There's a lot of other tailoring companies out there that are offering clothing to gay women, but they don't get it because they don't live it. As far as I'm concerned. So they never get, I think some people get lucky, get a great fit. But mostly it's about understanding the person as much as it is creating the garments, because I create the garments based on the profile of the person that I'm speaking to, that I've got to know, that I've measured, that I understand, whose life is
body is different. Like our sizes are so different that
and their life is it's the same but different to mine. Do you know what I mean? So there's a commonality there, but I think if everybody bought one 3-piece suit and they had a waistcoat, a vest, to wear with t-shirts and to wear with shirts and to wear, with shorts, as well as wearing with trousers. If you had a pair of trousers, pants, that you could wear with t-shirts, that you could wear with sweaters, jumpers, that you could wear with other shirts. If you had a couple of really good quality bespoke shirts that you could mix and match in, a jacket that you can wear with jeans when you go out for Sunday brunch, or you can wear it to the theatre. The thing is, I say to all of my clients, don't just buy a 3-piece suit for your wedding or for your office or whatever it may be. Buy it to wear it in all its many parts with everything in your wardrobe, because one, you're always going to feel fantastic because you've got this bespoke item on. It's the one piece in your wardrobe, or the 3 pieces in your wardrobe, that fit you to perfection. So consequently, everything you match with that is going to feel brilliant. You put on your jeans that maybe you're not that confident with normally, but you slip your jacket on, and you slip your waistcoat on, or your vest. And I'm trying to do the transatlantic thing here, with the pants and the vest.
Waistcoat is the best, Jay.
Yeah, the waistcoat and the vest, I'm sweltering in this heat tonight, dressed like this. But
I know.
I have cheated. I have got shorts
unbutton and roll up. We got it.
I've got combat shorts on.
Okay, beautiful.
I like that.
My wife was like, "Yeah, actually looks really good, Shaz," and I'm like, "Yeah."
Shaz emails me and goes, "I'll be dressed and ready," and I said, "And we will not."
And we will not. I know, and that made me laugh. So yeah, I mean, I think it's sorry.
I was going to ask you, how did you go from so you had the idea that you wanted to do this, and that was not what the career you were doing before. So how did you figure out how to get this done, get the suits made and where to go, and how did that
fabric choices? You just said they were local.
That's another great question. Well, actually, it was about a year in research and development. I was trying to make this happen. Well, I suppose a lot of the research and development happened after I decided to make it happen. So, and I must tell you how I got the name for the company as well. We'll get back to that. Yeah. We kind of flitting around.
Get back to that. Let's not forget that.
But basically, I knew a lot of film, TV, and theatre costume makers, and I went to them, and they were all really excited about the concept, but nobody could really get the idea of how to make these suits, how to tailor it. Because it's not as easy as making a Mao style suit and then just altering it, although some tailors would have you believe that. But I think that's where I kind of feel that we're ahead of the game, because there's a lot of tricks that we've learned over the years to make it actually work and to make the fit work, where I think maybe other people fall down. So that's a great thing for me to have learned how to do it. And I think being a gay woman and being the person that wanted the suits myself really helped.
Right.
But then I tried Savile Row tailors, again, brilliant people, excellent, loved the concept, didn't get it. Started to put ladies' darts into everything, you know, to make it much more of a ladies' suit, which is not what I wanted. You know, I've never made a suit for my wife because my wife is you know, quite feminine and wouldn't want to wear one of my suits. So it's kind of like, you know, although I have had a lot of feminine clients, which is kind of like, you know, because they want that look, but you know, but basically it was for more, it was for butch women or for more women that identify as a more masculine style fit, androgynous women, you know, trans men if they wanted to come. It was much more, we were geared for that, you know. So basically, and I tried local tailors and I tried lots of different companies who I thought I might be able to work with. And then I found a team based in London. And one of that team is still my design and development manager today. And basically, I found this team and they said, Shaz, you've got a great story. We've got a team of makers. You can set up a studio with us. We'll make it happen. And that's basically what's happened. And we've moved production various times over the years because people have moved on, and we've started here and we've changed location and we've done lots of different things, and we've supported lots of different initiatives globally. Which is too long a story to go into in now because there's too much other stuff to tell you about the company. But yeah, it's been a great journey. It's been a great experience, and that's basically how it got started. And then I said, train me not to be a maker, but train me to do the measurement profile. And as I was a high-end production manager, I used to go into rooms and measure theaters and measure everything. And basically, if you can measure a room, you can measure a person, you know. If you know, and as I say, we learned a lot of tricks about what measurements to take and how they should be taken and everything else. And I did it in a way that I could translate how I do it over Skype to any clients' wives or partners or mothers or aunties. I've done grandmothers. I've had everybody measure the clients, but I show them under my watchful eye how to do it on Skype, basically. And it becomes a very simple process and a very enjoyable process. And you're able to show the fabrics, and as if someone's in the consultation space here, they can do exactly the same thing on Skype. So I've kind of tied the whole thing together in that way. They trained me. I then now show everybody else how to do it. And the results are amazing because, I took a lot longer to learn than a lot of my clients take to learn. They do it in a morning.
That's funny.
But then obviously we have to.
The company, like, that's one of the things that probably, you know, makes you unique, is that it's not just your company and you're walking around snapping your fingers at people. You know, you're in it. You're in the trenches, you're doing the work, you've learned how to do the work, you're the face of the company, you've got to know every aspect of it. And people are seeing that when they're doing these Skype sessions with you.
I turned down a lot of investment over the years for the company, which I felt like I felt in my mid-40s, I was too old to be bothered to become a millionaire. Do you know what I mean? If that makes any sense, because to become a millionaire, you've got to be hard-assed. You've got to be prepared to travel. You've got to give up the life that you know. I wanted to have a living wage, basically, that would keep me going. My wife has a good job. I have a good job, and we can have a nice lifestyle. And that's what I wanted, because because I didn't want anybody else. I wanted me to be the
final
say, company, basically.
Final say.
Because I want everybody to be able to have the experience of working with me, because I understand who they are and I know their story, because, as I said before, their story is my story. And it's kind of like it's the way that the other thing that I always say to people about the suits is, you know, when you want to get a suit, you want to, and you want to buy a male style suit, you kind of go, look, I loved my dad, most people, some people, but I did, but I don't want to look like him in a suit.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to look, and most people, and you know, there's a commonality there that instantly people get it. They go, yes, That's it. I love my dad, but I don't want to look like my dad does in a suit. You know, I want to
Yeah,
look
my
like me.
fear is like, I don't want to look like a used car salesman,
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
Yeah,
or I don't want to look like Harvey Lacey, you know, from,
Yeah.
from Cagney
yeah,
and
yeah.
Lacey.
I love Harvey Lacey.
Yeah.
Love him, but I don't want to
Yeah.
look like him in a suit.
Right.
That's why I think, you know, like when I was, you know, my wife has slowly transitioned from someone, you know, because she's got a great little figure, but she's transitioned from like a skirt wearing, you know, or pencils, businesswoman, pencil skirts and blazer, you know, that kind of transitioned into a more tailored, refined look for work, you know, like she works in a, you know, professional setting, and, you know, although it's casual now, but, you know, on her way up, you know, I think it, you know, it was interesting to see that transition of wearing more tailored trousers and button-down shirts and blazers and stuff like that. But then, like I said, for this wedding, when she had the whole suit like made, it looked so nice and so smart. And it was, I want to say, just a little bit left of masculine, because it was, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? When you,
That's the secret.
yeah. And when you see like a celebrity wearing like a tuxedo jacket or something at the Oscars or whatever, it's still a really nice suit. You know, you see Kate Blanchett wearing, you know, a really nice suit, like you go, oh man, I wish I looked like that in a suit. You know what I mean?
And that's the secret. It's about taking each client, because, you know, the Butch Clothing Company came about, the name. We'll get back to that, and I can explain how this links into that. There's always a link. The Butch Clothing Company came about because I didn't know what to call the company, and we were around some friends for dinner, and these friends are well-known political feminists, and they were like, well, what are you going to call this company then? And I went, I don't know what I'm going to call it. And they were like, well, what's it do then? I said, well, I want to make clothes for butch women, basically. And they went, well, there you go then. That's the company. And I was like, oh yeah, the Butch Clothing Company. And I was like, yeah, because that would really create a positive to the word butch again. So that would make, you know, and it would mean that every gay woman in the world would know that it was a company for them. Because they may not identify as butch, and, you know, probably 70% of my clients wouldn't actually identify as butch. They might say they're, you know, they want a more masculine style suit, or they might, you know, some of them do look like Kate Blanchett. Do you know what I mean? That's the truth of it as well, you know. But they would know that it was a company for them, and that has worked brilliantly. You know, over the years.
It's the inclusion. It's the inclusion in it, you know.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it may have put some people off. I don't know, possibly, but who knows? I mean, the point is, it's a gay company. It's a gay-owned business, founded by a gay woman who's lived the experience, and, you know, people love it. I mean, the reviews that we get are phenomenal. In fact, we've started blogging on the website every month now.
Oh, that's
and one of the blogs coming up is containing a lot of reviews, because I think there's not enough reviews, that I don't put enough reviews out there, and I should put more out, because
for sure, that's like,
and my clients are always willing to speak to other people. They're always willing to speak to potential clients, because we get invited to weddings, which is fantastic. I mean, my wife and I, you know, because people, you know, I form such bonds with their clients if they want to. You know?
Right.
It's just that, you know, it's common ground, isn't it? It's
and it makes for great
goes beyond. Yeah, I mean, mate, you must realize that a lot of my clients come to me, and they've had such negative purchasing experiences. That they've spent half their life in tears over. Literally, they will say. And the last client I had last weekend was like, I literally you know, I literally cry when I go out shopping.
Yes.
And that's, you know, that's horrible.
Like, if you think about it, I don't know about you, Jay, but I remember for my wedding, I was first of all, I was married to a man back in the 90s. That whole experience of a wedding dress was hideous. Like, people are feeling you up, squeezing you in places you don't want to be touched, and pinning things, and, you know, back for fittings and all that. That was hideous. But going back even further, like, never forget the first time one of my friends told me, I said, I always say, I'm so uncomfortable. You know, my bras are so uncomfortable. I can't stand them. And they said to me, it's because you haven't had the right bra.
Yeah,
And I'm
the
like,
right fit.
"Okay, all right."
Right.
So we went to this place, I'll never forget it, in Florida, in South Florida, owned by old Jewish lady. I think it was one of my friend Donna. It was maybe her or her mom said, you got to go to Bras Plus. So I went to this place called Bras Plus, and these 4 Jewish women ascended on me, and like, no shame in their game. They were just flinging the dressing room door open. They were like squeezing, tucking, lifting, putting, and you know, I came out and I had a very comfortable bra, but the experience was hell. You know what I mean? Like, it was pure hell. And I'm like, and I started thinking to myself, I can't remember a positive shopping experience for any type of clothing ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, it's always a nightmare, whether you're, you know, having a fat day, or you're, you know, well, or you're, whatever the thing is. I've just never had a really great shopping experience. I have one place now that I will only shop at, and that's Torrid in the Coral Square Mall. Jay, the Coral Square Mall. It's Torrid.
know
And
it.
if they ever go out of business, I'm so effed. It's not funny. But and I'm 53, and I just found this place, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. And it's the only place I will buy my jeans. It's the only place. Tops I can get away with, like, screwing off whether they are comfortable or not. I don't even buy them in stores anymore. I can just order t-shirts from Amazon. But the thing of it is that it's never been a pleasant experience. And because of the relatability, you know, you've had this experience, and, you know, you probably hear it from every client. Yep. Every time, you know, like, oh, you know, I paid this much and I'm not happy with what I look like in it, or what it, you know,
right.
whether it fell apart or not, or,
Yep.
you know, all the complaints, you know, and you've been like through it all. So when somebody comes to you, you know, you literally know all the scenarios, you know,
Yep.
it's just, I think that's amazing, because I can't remember a salesperson or a tailor ever agreeing with me when I say, my arms are big up here, so I want some room. I don't want this to be tight. I need, you know, whatever.
Right.
They're not listening. They don't care.
It's interesting, and I throw that into my measurement profiles as well, because I really talk to the clients. I really get to know them, and I really want to know. I always do a phone call before we have the Skype consultation, or before they turn up here, so that they know a lot about me and I know a lot about them. But then when we're doing the measurement profile, it's the same thing. I say, tell me how you want this to fit. And then, you know, we add our tolerances and do various other things to it that I'm not going to, you know, trade secrets and all that. I'm not going to tell it, because otherwise everybody will be doing it.
Yeah, we're not asking for the secret.
But no, I mean, you know, when they want that, you know, when they want to have more room in their,
like, some places want
jackets, or
you know, people
shirts.
Like, everybody's different. Like, some want a tighter fit.
Some people want it tight fitting,
Yeah.
absolutely, and they want, you know, the skinny, you know.
Right.
I mean, funny enough, that's not what's in this season. What's in this season is going for the much more 80s, looser, more casual look, with the pastel colours or the brightness. You know, but yeah, I know, really it's going back to that. But up until this point, it was, or up until COVID at least, it was really the more slim fitting, tighter fitting suits with
they
narrow
never look comfortable.
ankles.
But I mean, that's, you know, I mean,
People love them, you know.
Yeah, to each their own.
Why the narrow ankle thing? I was not a fan.
I love that. See, I love that.
I'm
So,
okay with,
I'm like dreading flares.
Yeah,
I'm like dreading
I'm okay
the flares
with,
now. Back
tailored, tapered. It's, yeah, Jay, you've always been like a flare bottom.
I like a flare. I do. Very hard to find, but
I've never looked good in them. See, like, that's what I mean. Everybody's different. And
rather than a flare, people just go for a wider leg now.
Yeah.
You know, so like a standard mount is 17 inches, and most of my clients will go for 15. But now people are getting wider, you know, they want to go, you know, so it's just,
it is nuts. Like, that's another thing too, is you do have to stay on top of the trends, because, you know, they're ever changing. Do you ever, look at a trend and just go, ugh, nope.
Yeah, I mean, I quite like that. You know, I did. I'm 56, and I did the whole kind of Don Johnson jacket, t-shirt,
I
rolled up
can't let it
sleeves, and
go.
I've
I
ordered.
can't
You
let
know,
it
for
go.
myself, I order my own suits as well, and you know, I've had roll up sleeve ones and that kind of thing. You know, and other people have gone, oh no, when I offer that to clients, I go, oh no, and I go, oh, I really liked mine, but you know, you know, I think the thing is, all the pastel colors and stuff are coming back and all that, and I kind of go, yeah, great. And like linen's really in this one. I just had a new linen suit, and that's great. But then they start going on about the fact that, you know, the wide leg trousers are coming back in, that it's coming a lot more baggy, that the shoulder pads are coming back, and I've gone, oh no, let's not. but you know, it's what's back. So and I follow the male fashion trends to see where they're going, to see what's, because I know that's going to be reflected in what my clients are asking for.
Right.
So I need to stay on top of it. And Maren Johns from, you know, formerly of Curve and now of Queer 40, she said to me, Shaz, write me a piece on what the latest, you know, let me know what the latest trends are. So, you know, people do ask me to comment. And yeah, I'm always happy to. I like to stay on top of it, but yeah, a lot of it I don't like. And some of it. But then, I always say to people, you know what? You don't want to look like me, and I don't want to look like the next person, and they don't want to look like that person. Everybody wants to look like themselves in a suit.
Right,
And that's the
exactly.
most important thing.
Where can people buy your suits? Do you have shops or
No, it's all one-on-one bespoke tailoring. So basically people contact me for a consultation, and they can come here and have a consultation in our consultation space in Paddock Wood, where I have a space and fitting rooms. And you were talking about lots and lots of fittings. We only ever do the first fitting, and then if there's anything required, any alterations, any remakes or anything, it come back for a second fitting. Nobody's ever been back for more than one fitting. So
wow, that's fantastic.
So that's great. And basically you can find us at our website, www.thebutchclothingcompany.co. No, it's not .co, it's now .com. Or they can reach me, Shaz at thebutchclothingcompany.co.uk. And that's how you do it, basically. And I've deliberately kept it so it's all about me, basically. So they come, it's all about me, you know.
So where are you in the US? I'm sorry, Denise, I need to interrupt you.
It's all done online now, like for your global base, you know, like your Australians, your Canadians, your Americans, they can do the Skype consultations.
And you do.
I'm right here, and they're right there.
So we do it over online. So like
you do it online. So if you had a tape measure and someone with you, we could do it right now. So that's how easy it is. If I had all my swatch books, and basically I show you the fabrics, the colors, the lining. We talk about the detailing. I have a rail right here when it's Skype that shows lots of different suits on it with lots of different design elements. And that's how we work together. And it's very simple.
That in the beginning.
And then you just ship them out, right?
So
and then you just ship them out?
Yeah, basically. And some people fly here to get them if they want to.
I believe it.
Yeah. We've made great friends with people that have flown over to get their suits. But yes,
it's fantastic.
I'm asking for a reason because I have that show in October, and I'd love to have. Maybe I could have. How much time does it take to get a suit made?
Yeah, I normally say 7 to 9 weeks, but we're July now, so if we could easily do one for October. That's not a problem at all. Yeah,
you totally
and get it shipped to you. So basically, all you'd need to do is get a tape measure, get someone who was with you. I mean, we'd have a phone conversation so that I could find out exactly what you were looking for and stuff. I'd give you a call, and then you would agree to have, you know, someone with you. Partner, friend, whoever that would measure you under my watchful eye, and basically as long as you had a tape measure that measured in inches, and we agreed a Skype time, I would call you at that particular time, and then we would sit there and we would do it. It normally takes, I mean, they're such good fun. It can take 3 to 4 hours sometimes, but we can do it much quicker. But normally the measurement process itself takes about 45 minutes, but then it's kind of like, you know, the chat beforehand, and then looking at the fabrics, and then looking at the design elements, and you know, to create the actual suits. And yeah, and basically that's it. And then you pay on the day, because I have to prepay for all the fabrics and you know, makers' times and all the rest of it. And then your suit's made, and then it's sent to you. And then we do a fitting on Skype just to make sure. Mostly what will happen if there's any slight alterations, you know, like you say, oh, the waistband's a bit loose or anything, you would then take that to a local alterations tailor close to you. But I would give you a sheet that tells them what needs to happen, because it'd be very simple. If it was a major alteration, which basically doesn't happen, but if it was, it would come back here. And then I would have it altered. I have an excellent alterations tailor that I work with locally to me, and she's brilliant, and she really gets it. And yeah, that's it. Basically, it's a very simple process.
You should do it, Jay. You should get a nice fitted suit for this.
I should. You know what happened? My niece got married a few years ago. I would say it's probably almost 10 years now. I had to wear the bridesmaid dress, right? But then the deal was, after the salad was served for the dinner, I was allowed to change into my suit.
That happened to me when I was 10. I had to wear a pink bridesmaid's dress, and they told me that I could put a trousers and t-shirt on when up for the evening meal. My mum said I can wear trousers and t-shirt in the evening. So I feel your pain.
So I did that, right? But I was lucky enough to find like a women's tux, like a Michael Kors made one that had like sequins on the lapel. But that was really a lucky find, because you can't find anything like that. And so prior to me finding that, I went into a men's tuxedo store, but like you said, nothing fit right. Like the vest didn't even fit right. I had to clip it in the back, because when I got it to fit up here, it was too big on the bottom. Like it's just
the problem. Always too big on the shoulder. If it fits you on the chest, doesn't fit you on the length. If it fits you on the shoulders, it won't fit you on the chest. The trousers always hang too low. The crotch hangs too low.
Exactly.
You know, it's pointless.
This is very exciting. I think I'll get in touch with you.
But JD, you have to remember that we don't do girly suits. Okay, so they will.
I don't want a girly suit.
To be, but I don't do sequins and things like that. Do you know what I mean? But I've got lots of fabrics. I mean, everything from tartan to tweed to lightweight tweeds to normal suiting fabrics. I mean, every color of the rainbow that you could want. If you want a bright green suit, you can have a bright green suit.
Black,
with some linings.
She's like Johnny Cash, so it's going to be black. Black
I'm
blazer,
definitely not the girly girl type.
But you know, you want to think about like an interesting lining. You know, linings make a suit. Back of the waistcoat and the inside of the jacket, absolutely fantastic. You know, we do sort of matching stitching on the cuffs to match the inside of the lining and on the buttonhole.
Yay, can you imagine? I mean, just an American flag lining? An American flag lining, match your guitar.
That'd be awesome. Maybe I could come for the final fitting to pick it up.
That would be brilliant.
Come over there to pick it up.
Yeah, that would be
in the summer.
The whole thing just for the suit. Well, I'll get your information from Denise so I could get in touch with you about that.
Yeah, no, that sounds like an excellent plan.
Everybody should consider this. Everyone should consider this.
I love it.
I don't have an an flag lining though, I will say that.
Oh, I don't, that's fine.
But you know,
she's got the guitar.
Fantastic linings, I
actually have a jacket with a pride flag lining inside it. It says "Love is Love" in the rainbow colors inside.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really
listen,
cool.
You guys, this has been great. And I know I've kept you way over a half an hour, Shaz, so I apologize.
Oh, no, it's fine by me. I would talk all night.
We would sit here all night too, but I know you gotta go. So this is fantastic. The butchclothingcompany.com. If they want to email you directly, it's shaz@thebutchclothingcompany.co.uk.
Yeah, and Shaz with an S. Yeah.
Shaz with a Z.
S and a Z on the end. Yeah. So it's SHAZ.
SHAZ. Got it.
Yeah.
Z.
Yeah.
So that's all the information one could possibly devour. And the great news is 7 to 9 weeks is like that. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, and often it's a lot quicker. You want to manage people's expectations.
Oh, definitely.
So,
But even
time
that,
management
like,
is one of those expectations,
fantastic. I love it. And like you said, like you can, a suit like that will carry you for.
Yeah, in all its many elements, that's the thing. That's how to think about it. And people always end up buying shirts and stuff like that as well, because it's great to have some shirts that actually fit you.
For sure. Like, so in other words, you don't have to buy a suit. You could just get a shirt if you want.
You can just get shirts, you can just get a waistcoat, you can just get trousers. I mean, people often find that a little bit more expensive because obviously they have to have the measurement profile taken.
Yeah.
And I always take a full measurement profile. I don't just do half a measurement and I do charge a measurement profile fee of £75 a person. Which basically guarantees my time through the consultation and covers any alterations or remakes that are required when the suit's made. So there's no further costs. Yeah. So and then they've always got their profile there. So if they want anything from a winter overcoat to a shirt to a waistcoat to trousers, then it's all there. Their profile's ready, and we can make anything from that profile. So it's clever stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'll say.
Exciting.
Well, listen, I want to congratulate you too on going this long. This is, like you said, 2009, 2010. Here we are, 2022. You're still kicking, you're still rocking. You're getting orders from all over the globe. It's an incredible testament to your business.
Yeah, some have come and go. I have to say that some companies have come and not made it, and it's taken a lot of sweat and toil to make it, and a lot of self-investment and a lot of self-belief to kind of try and my wife has been so unbelievably supportive of this company, because there's been times when it's been a really tough road, and the last couple of years are no exception. And it's only just starting to sort of pick up now, really, the last sort of 6 months. And it's still slow at the moment, but you keep going and you don't give up. And I think the message of the company is important. I've been able to do a lot of charity work because of the company, and I've been able to start a charity with Age UK in this country for lonely and isolated people. And I know that I only got an in for that because of what I've done with the company. And it's not a charity, and obviously it's an expensive business, but I do like to think that actually in some small way we are able to change people's lives. It's not brain surgery, but it is making a difference to people that otherwise really struggle. So I'm proud of what we do, and I'm proud of my team and everybody from my bookkeeper to my accountants to my master tailor to to my fabric suppliers, to everybody that works with me. It takes a village, exactly.
Yes.
But what people see and what people get is me, and I think that I just maintain that. To me, that's so important, because I don't trust anybody else to get it as much as I get it. So I suppose when I do retire, I won't, if I ever retire, I won't sell the company on, because the company's me. And I want people to be able to know that they're working with someone that actually understands them and actually gets it.
Yeah, it's a rare thing. Yeah.
Yes, the integrity is amazing, for that, the business sense.
Thank you.
Well done, you.
Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. That's nice. I should go to bed on a high.
Yeah, definitely. I hope we get to do like an event or something together. It's been a blast.
Yeah, well, we should do lunch.
Yeah, at least. I'm in Wallington.
Oh, well, my nan and granddad lived in Wallington.
Shut up.
Yeah, they lived in flats in Wallington. Yeah, they were in Cheam. And they had a prefab near St Heliers Hospital, and then they moved into Wallington, and then they moved into Merstrom. But yeah, so
good. Okay, so you know how to get here.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, Wallington's not a million miles. We're Paddock Wood, so it's only around the M25.
Yeah, I do. I've seen the signs for it before. That's awesome. That's great. All right. Well, listen, have a
And JD's going to come visit. So, I mean,
Yeah, when I we'll go
JD
to
over
lunch,
here.
when I pick up my suit.
yeah, totally.
We're gonna get JD here at some point, somehow.
I am working on it. Yes.
Definitely. All right, friends. Have a good night. Thank you so
Yep.
much for doing this. Much
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Why do you always run back to the lover you
Like never stop
once
chasing your
knew?
dreams.
You're addicted to her touch. That's true.
See?
And I confess, my addiction is you. We drank way too much whiskey. Don't ask me why I'm here tonight. I had to take this midnight drive to find you. And as I come in through the door, I see her dancing on the floor beside you. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction is you. You look at me and in my eyes you see the hurt I can't disguise. I watch you, and though it seems I look right through, I'm noticing your every move. She's got you. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction is you. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction is you. I turn away to mask the pain, but jealousy reveals my rage and madness. And knowing you can read my mind consumes me in a shameful kind of sadness. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch, that's true. And I confess, my addiction is you. You are my drug, my ever waking need. I got you in my blood. You've got me on my knees. Why do you always run back to the lover you once knew? You're addicted to her touch,